Hello ladies and gentlemen and welcome to the casting panel here. The ASUS ROG DreamLeague Season 3 with myself, ODPixel, and of course, Draskell. And we're ready to get ourselves into the first game of the first series of the day. Basically Unknown versus Virtus.Pro Polar. And well, Andy, what are we seeing so far and what are you liking?
Well, Basically Unknown are able to get their hands on Magnus, so release your Arise Magnus Craigisms in chat.
I mean, I can't remember the last time it got through. It's literally weeks since we've seen it last game. But I think, you know, he sometimes gets his Beastmaster, which, interestingly enough, they don't take the Beastmaster this game.
Yeah, no one has even prioritized it at all. It's just completely untouched in terms of bans and picks, but I think it's more of a preference thing. I think VP Polar are going into this assuming that if you let Magnus through, Basically Unknown are almost guaranteed to pick it. And I feel like they're picking maybe one of the better strategies against Magnus in general, which is just get a really strong laning phase, and Drow +3 range so far on the side of VP Polar. Really strong laning. Going to be very difficult for Basically Unknown's lineup to get any momentum going. But if they can, they have one of the ultimate wombo combos, right? Like Queen of Pain, Mag, AA Ice Blast. Like your teamfight potential is obviously through the roof. You have good wave clear, so you can push out lanes later the game goes. And if VP Polar want to go high ground, it's still going to be a bit of a chore. Like you're going to have to go for the pick and push, and VP Polar are definitely looking to control the early game here with their picks and try to get a couple of Roshans maybe, then push after that. Yeah,
I think pretty much the kind of draft and play style we're seeing coming out from VP Polar is kind of what we expect to see from them when they go against these teams that arguably are not nearly at the same skill level as them. You know, VP Polar, they pick something that's going to dominate the early game, and that once they get the ball rolling, it's going to be very hard to stop and ultimately could lead to a very early GG.
Yeah, this lineup is snowball central. Like, that's what you want. You have a puck initiation, so his reach is great. You have Dazzle, good defensive support that can still work okay against Ancient Apparition. You can still grave people. The grave will keep them alive through the Ice Blast, and sometimes, like, you might still shatter. If the AA gets to an Aghanims, then grave actually becomes worse, but before that, grave can still be kind of useful. I think Basically Unknown are going to be in some trouble, though, for the laning phase at least, because a puck with Drow Aura, a puck is already supposed to beat Queen, not by a large margin, but it is pretty skill-based, and I would definitely say that G is going to be pretty darn good on his puck. So if it ends up being like a Magnus versus puck matchup, it'll be even worse. Like the puck will just be able to...
Even if it's a Rise Magnus?
Well, what do you do? Like puck starts with a null talisman, he gets pulled regen, and he has a bonus 5 or 6 damage at level 1 on top of that. It's like, I don't actually think you can win that lane as Magnus, no matter who you are.
Okay, Disruptor's going to be the pickup. Obviously one of those heroes that can be quite nice at controlling the puck, and also quite nice, I guess, against these kind of strats where they're going to go for the early pushes, and arguably as soon as Disruptor hits 6, he's able to do a lot against that kind of clumped up team 5-man push.
It can be that, and it can also be when a team like VP Polar start to push as 5-man, once they realize that they can't actually get their priority, so if they get like spammed out or something, they're going to have to back. And that's when Disruptor can really shine, because you just get vision with a Thunderstrike, you glimpse somebody back, you get a pick, you get 2 picks. You force awkward engagements out of VP Polar, and you try to fight around that, because if you can get those picks and you can delay the game, Drow does fall off. And we haven't even seen what carry Basically Unknown are going to be picking. Now, it's a bit tricky right now, because if you want to go like super wombo combo, things like Void come to mind. You obviously have your opportunity to pick up Juggernaut. Now Void is kind of an issue because there's already Visage, Dazzle, and Drow, and if they go aggro with VP Polar and you have a Void carry, you're going to get wrecked. So that part seems a little bit not great to me, but I know Basically Unknown gravitate towards their melee carries when they have Magnus, so I'm curious as to how they're going to deal with this, because right now VP, they have second to last pick. So Basically Unknown will be able to see all their lanes before they pick their carry, which I think is a small benefit, but one they're definitely going to need.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of other heroes that Basically Unknown have run when they've been able to pick up the Magnus. I believe they've also picked up stuff like the Medusa for Nico Baby, and obviously Medusa still in the pool, and arguably Medusa could be something else that's going to really add to the team fight.
It takes so long to get online though, and VP Polar with a Warlock Golem on top of everything else, like they don't want to delay the game. They want to just end it. With Warlock ulti on top of the lane control they already have, like normally I'd say Warlock is one of those hit or miss heroes. Like you drop your ulti, you get an objective, or it's kind of a waste, but with the kind of damage and artillery they have, with Visage, with the Drow Ranger Aura, they're going to be able to kill towers with or without the use of Golem. So that ability is going to be, you can use it whenever you want. Like you can use it to retreat, you can use it to fight, you can use it to push. It doesn't really matter.
No, absolutely.
So this lineup I think is actually very nice to have a Warlock in, and they're going to go with a Weaver pick. So they're not going to go towards the standard melee, which I do think is the right choice. Because if you pick the melee hero against VP Polar, they 100% go aggro and punish you for it. So I think it is the right call for them to just go with something a little bit more mobile. Still kind of scary, because there's 2 silences on VP. So if the puck gets a Blink Dagger, or you get golemed or something like that, it's going to be hard to fight into. And more importantly, this is going to be a core position Warlock, as we saw G pick it up. Now, as long as he doesn't swap, I'm not sure if he's going to actually play it or not, because I know he plays puck very proficiently, but...
I'd imagine, well, yeah, with the Visage and the Dazzle obviously picked up, I guess it's probably most likely out of all the positions to run the Warlock going to be the mid lane. I mean, I guess you could safe lane it, but arguably they want to have the Drow there, and they want to kind of put the puck on the off lane. I mean, looking at the tri-lane potential with the Dazzle, the Visage, and the Drow, do you think they'll choose to try and run that aggressively and go head-to-head with basically Unknown's tri-lane? It's
kind of rough now because they have Weaver. So you have Geminate plus Chilling Touch, which is a very, very strong combo in a tri-lane. So you have 3 ranged heroes with Chilling Touch. I think basically Unknown might actually go aggressive with their heroes. And I think that is exactly what they're going to do here, as we are now finally in-game. But one more thing I wanted to mention before we do the team introduction, and the Warlock pick and why I think it's so great, is against Magnus, oftentimes teams get baited into going in early, but Warlock is the ultimate patience hero. Like, you just wait, and you wait, and you wait. And then when he finally goes in, then you drop the Golem to prevent a skewer, and that can be long enough of a stun to make sure that your team doesn't get pulled horribly out of position. So between the fact that VP have nothing but ranged heroes, it's already going to be hard for him to find a good RP. And if you do, and you don't get G, then you have to worry about Chaotic Offering. And if you get G, then you have to worry about Coil, and you have to worry about Silence and Bird Stuns. There's so many things on the side of VP that can counteract the RP.
Absolutely. But if there was ever a Magnus to do it,
it's going to be a Rise. Yeah.
30 seconds.
So we'll see what happens here as well. Basically, I know a little bit of a wrap round here into the Radiant jungle. Illidan, he's on the front lines here, but he'll spot it out, start to move away. Nico with the Shikuchi forwards isn't going to look to follow it up, but it looks like we're going to have a little bit of a dispersion of the action, and we've got time here to introduce both of the sides here. We're basically Unknown Virtus.Pro.
There you go.
That's the words I was looking for. On the side of basically Unknown, we're going to have a Rise on that mid lane Magnus. It's going to be Nico on that position 1 Weaver. He's going to be supported up by Pure Evil on the Ancient Apparition, and of course Stomanen on the Disruptor. Finally, on the side of basically Unknown, it will be Shashlo on that solo safe lane Queen of Pain. So as you said, basically Unknown choosing to go aggressive. I mean, Yol, he's kind of been left here all alone. There's Chilling Touch, and that's scary. I mean, Yol, he is, of course, the stand-in, and that's never nice to start the game off like that if you're standing in.
All those auto attacks hit simultaneously, so there was almost no chance that Curry was going to go off. He would have had to have cast it quite a bit sooner, but we do have a second here, so we'll go over the players on the side of VP. So we're going to see Lil here chilling out in the woods. He's going to be playing the Visage towards the safe lane for Virtus.Pro. We're going to have Illidan kind of suffering here. He's going to be handling the Drow Ranger. On his way back to lane, after getting first blood, is going to be Yul. Middle lane, we're going to have G on the Warlock. And then finally, Phobos is playing puck. And Phobos does play a pretty nice puck. Now, I don't know if it's as good as G's, because I'm a little bit of a G fanboy. If there is any player who I enjoy to watch, it's definitely him. So we'll see what he's able to bring here.
Okay, indeed. I mean, as kind of hero matchups go, what can you come to expect from the puck Queen of Pain situation?
I still think the puck should do okay, but again, a lot of that matchup is down to player skill, and because Shacklo is in his safe lane, I think he might be slightly more advantaged than normal, just because the positioning is a bit easier when you're in your safe lane, and of course you can do pulls and stuff like that. So with Drow Aura though, Phobos might eventually pull ahead, but that's not until the Drow hits 6, and after that point you could already see the laning phase start to break down. Since that Drow's in tri-lane, she's going to get way less experience, and these supports are not going to be able to go anywhere on the side of VP. So everything considered, this laning phase for basically Unknown might not be as bad as we had initially thought.
Yeah, so I mean, in your eyes, obviously...
G, middle lane, gets skewered into the tower.
G taking hits, but with the heal, he's managed to nullify quite a bit. He's got 2 points in it as well, and that heal, it's pretty damn strong.
Yeah, but it's still a very effective trade for a Rise to get him skewered into the tower. He also knows he has full rune control over bottom because he has aggro tri-lane, so this is just free rune, and he gets a haste. That is such a nice rune to get this early on.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, as we were talking about the drafts, obviously Virtus.Pro is very clear what they want to kind of go for with their setup. Do you think basically Unknown have reacted to it in the right way? And well, bottom lane, Lil taking a lot of heavy damage here, will be able to keep himself alive with the Shallow Grave from Dazzle. I just need one more final right click, and he's got it. Stomanen there with the final...
yeah, very nicely timed
that
there.
Attack range on Disruptor works out very nicely for them there.
Yeah, 600 attack range. His animation is a little bit slower, which worked out very well for him because he wanted to time the auto attack so that it landed as the Grave wore off. So the projectile midair.
No, he could be in trouble. Nico does get gusted back. Lil will finally arrive into the lane on the Visage, and looks to be enough to stop it. But I mean, we've got to remember VP. We were expecting them to be the team that wants to go aggressive, and basically Unknown, they're just absolutely punishing the draft so far.
Basically, Unknown's tri-lane has the unique capability of just going for an all-in. And because Weaver is so mobile during the early game, with the addition of Geminate attack, the burst that this lane has is very deceptive. So if you get caught out, you're almost immediately on defensive posturing. Like, Yul has to be on point with his Grave to make sure that he's going to be able to stop that hero from getting bursted down. And even still, when they stopped the initial burst damage and prevented a kill, Stamana was still able to get one more auto attack out. So you can tell how aggressive they want to play this.
Always going to be a glimpse back onto Illidan, but at the same time, the Gust was there to silence up the side of Unknown. Stamana getting very low. Nico trying to dive in for this one, but there's going to be the shallow Grave onto the Drow Ranger. Nico, he has got the stick charges and the Shikuchi. He's going to go back in. One more right click should do it, and it will. Nico finding another kill here onto the Drow Ranger. 3 for 0 for the side of basically Unknown. 3.5, well, we're coming up to 4 minutes in.
If there's going to be a chance of basically winning this game, it's going to be off this aggro tri-lane for sure. Now, middle lane, Arise isn't doing too bad. He's still taking quite a bit of harass from a Warlock, which, as a melee hero, that's to be expected, especially when G is maxing heal and getting some stats with Drow Aura on top of that. Phobos actually losing top lane pretty badly. Now, again, this matchup is more based on player skill than anything else. I'd say it's like 60-40 Queen, or 60-40 Puck, excuse me. But Drow Aura, I expected him maybe to be doing a little bit better by now, but they're going to have to address this bottom lane sooner or later.
I mean, how did they go about doing that? Obviously, the 3 heroes here at the moment can't seem to do anything to deal with the 3 from basically Unknown. Do we need to see a rotation from someone else on the side of VP, or do they need to swap the lanes around?
The Puck rotation is going to be what saves VP's tri-lane. Like, he's the only hero who can reliably move. Like, G can go down there, but just throwing down a rock is not really a good enough commitment because the rock stun itself isn't even that long. I mean, you're basically standing in place for, what, like a second, and then you just run away. Whereas a puck coil is just boom. You got to fight on that point.
There's going to be a glimpse here on Illidan, bringing him into the kinetic field. Stamanon's going to have to back up with the right clicks here from Nico, and Pure Evil with the chilling touch, bringing Illidan very low. Coldfeet will kick in as well. There's going to be the heal, but I don't think it's going to be enough, and it's not. Nico on a killing spree now, 5 minutes in. Stamanon does take a soul assumption to the face, but will be able to back himself out. But yet another kill here for basically Unknown on this aggressive tri-lane, just slowly chipping away at Virtus.Pro.
That was pretty sloppy, honestly, from VP, because the 2 supports were both attacking different targets. Pure Evil was getting hit by Yul, and then Stamanon was getting hit by Lil. So had they focused their damage on one target, would have been a lot better. And Arise had an invis up here. Thought about going on full boss. This is a very hard kill to get.
It really is. I mean, let's see if he gives it a little bit of welly. Shashler, he has got the combo. Will blink forward, trying to bait stuff out. So there's your phase shift and orb coming out. They will throw the skewer, but he'll still be able to orb away. I mean, all in all, it's a little bit ambitious there.
Well, it's still, I think, an okay movement. In middle lane, G is just free farming here, and it's still difficult to stop him. Just as like VP's supports aren't really likely to move around because of the heroes that they are, basically Unknown only want to continue pressuring this bottom lane. So with that being said, Arise will just slowly lose out on farm by sitting mid. So trying to make something happen, I definitely get. The fact that he moved before he was 6, though, maybe a little bit weird, because he was only, what, like 2 or 3? Yeah, he was 2 or 3 creeps away from level 6. So maybe had he waited like one more wave to make that rotation, it could have been successful. Because if he had RP after that skewer, his orb would have been down. Like by the time he could have jaunted to it, and then it would have been a kill.
Well, let's have a look. How is Drow actually doing at the moment? If you have a look at the side of VP in terms of levels, so she's only just touching onto level 4, so the level 6 isn't going to come online that quickly. And I mean, the side of VP, they're relying on that ultimate quite a lot with the strat that they're running.
I think now they're going to have to rely on their team fight ultis. Like G and DK Phobos are going to have to kind of carry the mid game for them. They're going to need really good coils. They're going to need good counter initiations with chaotic offering, and they're going to have to hope that that's going to be enough to burst. Now, basically, Unknown's tri-lane is pretty successful up till this point, but Illidan has around equal CS to the Weaver. It's just that the Weaver has kills. So obviously, he's still getting the better of the farm, but I think during the mid game, VP's lineup is actually a little bit easier to play around because of their huge AoE ultis. Like, you always have to be worried about not just 1, but 2. So you have to fight around Coil and Chaotic Offering, not just the 1. That's going to make Arise's life harder. It's definitely going to make the support life harder because they're all squishy. Like Weaver, AA, Disruptor, even Queen, very easy to burst down. And if you get hit by a rock and a silence, you're just done for. So I think VP still have the opportunity to turn this.
Yeah, indeed, and obviously looking at the net worth and CS as well, G still having totally free farm here in the mid lane. He's finding a lot here in the situation against Arise, but against Arise, obviously not doing too bad. He's got about 1,300 gold on his way to the Blink Dagger, so if he keeps this up, it's going to be a pretty good timing for the old Blink Magnus.
And no matter what, he always seems to get his Blink Dagger before 15 minutes. Like that's in middle, in some matchups, it's a lot harder. Like for instance, I think if it was Puck, he might have suffered a little bit more than even going up against the Warlock, just because of how much more aggressive the Puck can actually play, because there's almost 0 kill opportunity, right? But in a situation where you know you're going to be in a 1v1, I guess putting Warlock there is also good, as G is still farming like a beast. He's 50 and 22 right now at 8 minutes in. That's like more than normal free farm. That's like almost perfect CS.
Indeed. What's G got him on at the moment? Obviously we saw him go for the phase boots, and in terms of gold elsewhere, yeah. So he's got the gloves of haste, so almost certainly just going to look for that Midas straight into Aghanex.
Yeah, pretty standard build coming out from him. You want that level 11, definitely. Like the Golem power increase is huge, and once you get your Aghanims up, you kind of want to be 16 on top of that.
Right, Nico going in onto Yol, and Yol, even with the shallow grave and TP, that should be no. The cold feet kicks in. Yol will go down here. They're going to let it go to Stamanen because Nico, he's looking for more here. Puriful taking a fair bit of damage from Phobos, and of course the Drow Ranger, and Illidan will be able to find the kill there. In comes Arise. He's actually going to get Dream Cold up here with Shashlo. It's been a 1-for-1 trade so far, but Nico now finds Illidan on the back of that fight, making it a 2-for-1, and maybe Nico can try and look for more. There's going to be the Waning Rift from Phobos catching Shashlo and Nico, but the ultimate comes out from Shashlo before the stun connects from G with the Golem, and now G, he's in trouble. Trapped in the kinetic field, he's trying to find something in return, but he's not going to. Shashlo's going to be able to blink away. G will go down. It's a mega kill streak for Nico. 9 minutes in, 8-for-1 favoring the side of basically unknown, and this is a very different team to what we've been seeing earlier in the league play.
This tri-lane has completely dismantled them in the early game. Like, they're trying to focus so much on recovery that they transition almost every single hero down to the bottom lane, and the team fight was just not really coordinated that well. They get 1 kill. Phobos is saving his coil to make sure that he doesn't use it on just one support who's going to die anyway. That's definitely the right play to make. Arise misses his skewer, doesn't even have to RP, as we see him fake one out there middle lane onto Yul. But they didn't coil and golem together. And that's why the Golem was completely ineffective, because after the coil was used, 0 follow-up damage. So Phobos tries to save his coil, and then ends up wasting it anyway, because nobody else was there to deal any damage, as Illidan got picked off by the Weaver in the back when he dropped his coil down. So yeah, just miscommunication by VP. They're not playing the team fights very well at all at this stage.
Nico, he's found Joel, and he's going to throw out the bugs, and he might try and go for this one. The amount of damage here is a little bit too much for Joel to do. He does have a shallow grave. He will pop it and stand there, but Nico, he's just going to dive for this one, and almost certainly will pick himself up another kill. Unstoppable kill streak here on Nico. 6 kills, 3 assists, 10 minutes in on your Weaver.
This aggressive Weaver tri-lane, man, it is doing some serious work. I'm a little bit surprised that not that they didn't see this coming. Yeah.
Looks like they will be able to find a little bit of a recovery kill there. Lil and Phobos do pick off the AA, and now Illidan, though. He might go down in return, finds the gust onto Nico, but Nico's already killed him. Nico, he is going to be able to get himself out there. Pops the stick charges. Lil, he's cut between Shashlo, Stamanen, and Nico. He'll go down as well. There'll be TPs coming in, but it's all a little bit too late. What's Phobos going to be able to do? There's still 3 heroes around. He's going to all forward. He's looking. Is he going to follow that through? No, he's going to keep himself safe, because he certainly needs to. There's one of the familiars actually going to go down there as well to the Weaver. And, well, he throws down the Dream Cold. There's going to be a Static Storm and a Glimpse holding Phobos back, and Phobos will go down here as well. It's a monster kill streak. I mean, they've got to stop the Weaver, Andy.
I don't know what's going on. I don't know why Phobos walked back into the Static Storm, because the field and the Storm were both going to miss with that glimpse. Like, he could have just walked up and orbed.
They might find the killer onto Shaman, and he's going to try and TP. I realizes there's a familiar there, cancels the TP, walks off with the stick charges. He's actually going to get out.
This is not what I was expecting, to be totally honest, and clearly not what VP were either. After seeing the AA, though, aggressive tri-lane's always got to be something that's on your mind, like all the time. Now, they had picked their entire tri-lane early, which I think may be why basically Unknown got such a jump on them, because they third picked AA, I want to say, because they got Queen and Magnus first too, right? And then they picked Ancient Apparition after that. So I think maybe VP showed their hand a little bit too early with their lanes.
He's got his blink 12 minutes, and he's going to use it straight away onto G here. There's going to be the follow-up burst damage from Shashlo. They will be able to bring down G. That's a killing spree for your Queen of Pain, and the net worth now, 5.5k on your Weaver, 5.1k on your Quap. Both, with the Queen of Pain as well, nearly 1,000 ahead of the Warlock. He's been having free farm all game. And now Lil, He might find a kill and return it to Pure Evil, as Pure Evil will give it a little bit out on his own there. But bottom lane, Nico, he's got no mercy. He's on a godlike streak. Illidan looks at TP out, but the glimpse is there. Nico's going to pick that one up as well. It's a double kill for Nico on the Weaver. This is... I mean, Andy, words.
I don't have many words for this game. I don't know if Arias just like learned how to draft or what's going on here, because...
I think he did.
Let's be honest though, VP had a really bad start because their Dazzle got first blooded like straight away. So when the Dazzle gets first blooded, immediately your lane's already behind because Yul's not in the lane straight up when he needed to be. And I think that VP just didn't really play the tri lane the way that they should have. Like every single time you get caught out and you lose a hero, it's just that much harder to play into the tri lane, and you're putting more pressure on your two solo lanes to do well. The Queen won her solo lane against full boss Puck. Like this Puck doesn't even have treads and it's 13 minutes in. Like he's almost level 9, okay, like he's got 3 points into his silence, but without the blink initiation, it's so much harder for VP to get really any counter engaged. Just the golem isn't enough. They need both spells in conjunction to be able to turn a fight.
And I mean, the thing is as well, against a Weaver that's had this good of a start, what have you got to offer up against it in the late game?
That's the real problem too, is normally you would say that your Puck and your Chaotic Offering are why you can stop the Weaver at this point, because your Puck should at least have Blink and Brown Boots. Like maybe not Treads, but you should have Blink with Drow Aura. But the tri lane went bad. So the tri lane going bad means your marksmanship is going to be delayed, and it's just, everything for VP is not quite synced up the way that they wanted it to. Now they're still farming okay. So it's not as if the game is completely over, but it is definitely an uphill battle.
Mid lane, Queen of Pain. He's got the Sonic Wave in 10 seconds. Arise with the Magnus. He's got RP. There's a fair few heroes on the side of VP looking for some action. Arise smokes up. He goes forward. He's going to be able to skewer back to Illidan. And Illidan is deleted from the game immediately. G finds a Chaotic Offering, trying to chase down Shashlo and Stamana. And Stamana getting low will go down here. Shashlo's going to be able to blink away. There's going to be a buyback from Illidan here. Obviously trying to offer up that aura for the rest of the team as the fight continues. Now Nico with the Chilling Touch. Who's he going to go on first? In come the Bugs. There's going to be Lil chasing down Pure Evil. Will find the kill. It's both the supports on the side of Unknown down at the moment. Arise is still alive. Shashlo, he's found Dazzle. Now for the Desolator. 15 minutes in on Nico. Nico, I mean, Lil, he's going to be able to juke it out. He's going to be okay. Mid lane, G, he gets Kinetic Field up. He will be able to keep himself alive and back out. The Thunderstrike and the Earnest Shadows, probably not quite enough. And Arise looking for the RP. There it is on Illidan. And this, of course, was a buyback, but maybe VP can turn around. They've got a Dream Collar to free. They'll be able to bring down Shashlo here on the Quap. But Illidan's down, G's down on the wall. Like, it's going to be a triple kill for Nico as he finishes off Phobos as well on the Puck. It's 20-6, 15 minutes in. Nico, it's... What do you do, Andy?
You need to get your Puck a Blink Dagger. That's really what you need to do. Basically, Unknown are playing super aggressive because they know the counterplay isn't that strong. Like a Puck without a Blink just doesn't have quite the same oomph as just being able to blink in, get a silence on 2 or 3, immediately coil, and then get yourself to safety. In addition to that, it deals the guaranteed damage. Like you don't have the opportunity to miss your orb because you're literally blinking into them. It's going to be point blank. You are assuredly going to get the damage out. And we saw the potential of the damage on VP. It's not that they don't hit hard. It's just that every single time they try to take an engagement, if it doesn't work with both of their ultis going off at the same time, the Weaver and the Disruptor and Queen just clean everything up. Yeah. Those heroes are way too mobile. They're too good at punishing bad positioning. And if you take a drawn-out fight and your ultis don't kill, well, you've seen what happens. The Weaver has 13 kills in a 16-minute game.
There's going to be a smoke up now. They're going to go for Roche here. They've got the Desolator on Nico. They've got the damage. And they're going to go for it here. And the other side of VP going to be able to do anything about it. They don't have either the Visage or the Puck at the moment, who are both on the top lane. In the mid lane, G just continues to find some farm, or Drow, and both the Dazzle going to back up G. That's going to mean the side of basically Unknown should be able to find Roche here. It's taking him a little bit of time. Yeah, and Queen of Pain not really offering that much. Nico getting a little bit low. He will time-lapse that bit of damage off, and it's going to be the Dazzle ult now, actually giving vision, but it is just the Dazzle here at the moment, and the Dazzle backs away, and I think they realize that they can't do anything about it. They'll just look for the trade, and obviously Visage Lil does find the top tier 1.
Yeah, thank God for that. They needed something going their way. It would have been nicer, I think, if the Puck had actually gotten the last hit on the tower, because he's still like 500 away from his Blink Dagger.
There's a glimpse onto G. Arises there with a follow-up RP, and G with the book, the Static Storm as well. G is so dead. It's a beyond godlike streak here for Nico as he adds another one onto his tally. 14 kills, 17 minutes in now.
I think one of the main things you can take away from this game, if you're a Magnus player, is do not be afraid to single RP a high priority target. Like, you know the puck doesn't have blink. Heck, you see Phobos farming top. If G's out of position, just RP him if his ulti is off cooldown, because that means that you can just go in for a tower, you can apply pressure, you can take a really easy team fight after that, because your Weaver is more or less unkillable. Like, catching Nico, the only way they can catch Nico is if puck hits a blink.
Well, Nico now with 2.5k gold on him. I mean, 9.5k net worth, 18 minutes in. I mean, if we have a look at the net worth difference between the teams, it's going to be pretty disgusting. Yeah, it's coming up to over 10,000, and XP's heading that way as well here. 21-6 at the moment between these two sides. Arise well on his way to the 4-staff now with the staff picked up, and 700 in the bank towards the recipe and Ring of Regen. And I mean, your AA's got a medallion.
Yeah, I'm not really sure why he actually went medallion, to be honest. Like,
oh, look at Yo. Look at him. Look at him. Bless him. And now look at Illidan. What's he going to be able to do? He's going to throw a gust out. That's probably going to be about it. Nico, is he not going to chase this one? Nah, oh, maybe. Maybe, why not? He's got Aegis, he's got time lapse. There's going to be a glimpse onto Illidan. In come the Desolator. Here's Puck trying to stop it. There will be a chaotic offering and a nice waiting rift. They'll be able to burst down Nico once. But of course, he does have the Aegis. They have managed to take down Snowballing here on the Disrupt. And there's your gust onto Nico. Can they find the follow damage? Oh. Quap comes in. Shashlo says, get off my Weaver, son. He's going to be able to bring down Illidan here on the Drow. DK Phobos looking for the Queen of Pain, Shashlo, but Shashlo's able to blink away, Arise there with the Shockwave, picking up the Visage as well. And Nico, he's still alive. Maybe he wants to go back in. The Golem is still out. The armor's ticking down. Nico throwing out the bugs, won't latch onto anyone. G is going to pop the heal, but I think you're going to need more than a heal to save you from this. As Arise comes in, skewers them into the tower. There's your RP as well. He's got no fear. He just wants to bring him down. G goes down to the Queen of Pain. And it's 3 heroes dying again on the side of VP. And well, basically unknown. They do lose their Disruptor and they do lose the Aegis, but again, the umpteenth favorable trade this game for BU.
Radiant's bottom tower is
Burden looked like a different team than basically what I... Yeah, excuse me, basically I know. They had the same...
They do have the same initials.
Same initials, so I always confuse them. But it's interesting to see, like, just the laning phase and how big of a difference it can have on the game in general. Like, VP had a pretty clear strategy, I would say, within their first 3 picks. Like, they had Drow Ranger. They wanted to go for a very hard lane win against Magnus, which is always a great way to counterplay. And then basically known, they 3rd pick an AA, and VP just didn't really seem prepared for the aggressive potential that could come out from something as simple as a Weaver AA, which at some point, it wasn't really a common lane, but it was always something that people were wary of to a certain degree. And the 1v1 matchup for the Puck didn't go well. The tri-lane went terrible. The only lane that really did much was G. Now, VP may be looking to either bait or try to go for some initiation of their own. The Puck finally has blink, so they definitely have some counterplay here. But if they run into Shacklo, he'll be able to blink, I think.
If they can find the waning rift first, he will not be able to blink.
JK.
Blown up straight away.
That was a nice gust. I thought he was going to Yules himself, because that's why you buy it against Puck, right? You just self-Yules, and then you can land and blink away. But the gust timing from Illidan actually stopped him from being able to act. Because when you're being pushed, similar to Vacuum, you can't actually do anything. So, very nice timing.
It's a pick off for the side of VP, but still very much behind this lineup of basically unknown.
Did they smoke again? Wow, okay, they really want to go for kills. They still have Coil up. Golem is still 20 seconds on cooldown, and G is showing, but I think basically unknown are definitely onto what's going down here.
Basically unknown at the moment, heading down towards the bottom lane, trying to take down a tier 2 themselves. I mean, the side of VP, they're heading the right direction. They're going straight into their own jungle here. They found Nico, and they find the control. There's your waning rift and gust, but Nico, he's got a BKB, pops the BKB. There's a static storm onto 2 in the connected field road. Arise with the RP onto Phobos and Joel. They've lost the Visage, they've lost the Dazzle now. Can they find anything more here, the side of basically unknown? Well, Illidan's trying to fight himself up against Pure Evil, but the Shockwave finishes him off. It's a double kill here for Nico. G's the only one to survive. And well, they might just find him as well here. Stomana here with a Thunder Strike. In comes Shaxo with the ultimate. It's a 5-man team wipe, 30 for 8. They even get the Golem.
Imperial's gonna die at least. Got him with the birds. Well played, well played.
Hey, birds.
I was just trying to find something good out of that team fight for VP, right? That was one of the first times we saw Golem and Coil used together. And Arise, he got an RP on 2, but he wasn't really able to skewer them out of position. Turns out it didn't really matter. They just died anyway, because basically no one are just miles and miles ahead. Shacklo is going to finish up his Aghanims here soon on Queen. I honestly think that we're approaching near GG territory, and how far basically Unknown are ahead of VP, and how Drow does not really match up well against Weaver in the ultra late game anyway, because it's very easy for him to get in point blank. He already has BKB and a Desolator. He's 17-0 with 11 assists.
I mean, when was the last time you went 17 for 0 in a pub game, Andy?
Yesterday, because it was sub day.
Okay.
Yeah, it was sub day, so it doesn't really count, right? But
this is, I mean, you don't see this every day.
Well, in a pro match, it's much more uncommon to have these kind of scores, because typically the enemy team knows how to deal with you, but VP don't really have a counterplay to the Weaver, who's this far ahead.
I mean, Nico's been involved in 28 of the 30 kills of the side. 23 minutes.
Yeah, his kill contribution is completely insane. But that's also kind of to be expected, because most of the kills that were happening were because of the tri-lane, right? And Weaver has great mobility, so you kind of want to be at all the engagements. I think a lot of people have this misconception of Weaver as a hero where, oh, well, I need to farm like a Linken's +1 item. It's actually not true, especially against VP, who don't really have a hard disable for him. Like, sure, you can golem, but...
Glimpse and Static still wants a Phobos. There's going to be the right clicks from Nico, and the kinetic field just holding him in that storm.
Yeah.
That's going to be Phobos going down on the puck.
Yeah, VP, they're not giving up yet. They say, we got a couple fights left in us. Maybe once they breach high ground, that'll be when VP decide to tap out. And I still feel like their lineup has some kind of potential. It's just so much harder when the one core that you have to kill has an item that makes him almost invincible to your entire lineup. Like, the only way to lock him down is Golem stun, and that's not enough. And Nico has a DD bottled for the next team fight. Like, dear God, this is going to be so painful. As if he didn't already hit hard enough with Empower. He's got a double damage. I don't know.
Well, let's see if VP do know what they're going to do now. It's 24.5 minutes in VP. They're still looking for the play at the moment. They're hanging around here by the Ancients. Are they smoking up? Have they got a smoke available? No, I guess still not available at the moment. AA picks up one for the side of basically Unknown, in fact. They do have all the ultimates. They do have the RP. And they're ready to go. Nico pops the double damage. He's looking for G. There is your initiation from Arise. Catch out G. G gets blown up by the Sonic Wave, and the double damage Desolator hits. And that's your Warlock. He did have the ultimate available, but he's down for 50 seconds with no buyback.
Doesn't matter if you have your ult up if you die before you can use it. I think this tower is donezo. They don't have Glyph either, and this could be maybe a little bit of harassment done to the tier 3. Probably not enough time to totally breach high ground, but they might be able to do that or push the tier 2 top. They want to play it greedy. I guess they're going to be going for the high ground push here. They do have some time. Maybe I'm underestimating how much damage Nico does. Jesus, that DD in power.
Gus will come out, won't quite catch Nico. He's able to back himself up, and there's Arise going in again with a 4-star blink initiation, blowing up Illidan. I mean, arguably it is the tri-lane this game that's been doing the most for basically Unknown, but still, the fact that they let Arise's Magnus through, he's still finding a lot of big pickoffs this game.
Yeah, the Magnus is definitely a point of worry, because he was killing G solo, more or less. Like, he did have backup, but he was the one making the engagements happen, right? Like, he killed G, what, 3 or 4 times, I think it's been so far, without him being able to cast his ultimate skill at all. And that's a pretty big deal when the only way you can come back into the game is by Chaotic Offering and Coil. Now, I know we've said it pretty often, but I think it's important that people realize that this lineup from VP is not supposed to play from behind in the first place. So to be in this position at all is kind of a shock, especially considering how well VP have been playing lately and how basically Unknown have not yet won a single game in league play.
They've lost 6 so far.
6 in a row.
6 in a row.
And against one of the harder teams.
And this is VP Polar.
Yeah, they're actually winning, like hard, like stomping even. And they're going to get this Roshan. Not going to be any contention coming out from the side of VP. Just Phobos counter pushing top lane, which is pretty much the only play I think he can make at this point. And Nico's going to have like an Aegis and a Butterfly in the next push, probably. I really don't have any idea how they're going to defend.
I mean, do you see this Weaver dying before the end of the game?
No. I don't think so. The only way he can die is if he somehow dives like tier 4s, he BKBs before his Aegis and top lane Phobos.
Oh boy, he's in a bit of trouble. Oh, the AA Ice Blast isn't going to connect. Phobos blinks through the tree lines, he's going to look for the TP. Is Arise going to look for the play? Nah, he's going to...
I thought he was going to RP him and scare him into the A Blast, because he had Shadow Blade. So he can just walk in point blank, skewer into the Ice Blast and kill. Maybe he didn't think it was worth it, because he didn't want to use RP for that kill.
I mean, Warlock, he's got his Aghanims.
Yeah. Can he actually cast his ulti, though, one time this game? Well, cast it and have it matter, I guess, is the important point. But even then, it's like the Golem, it doesn't really do anything to the Weaver. It's kind of only the AA and the Disruptor who are really scared of it, because Queen can just blink. Mag can force that for RP, or not RP, but Skewer, and Weaver can Shikuchi. He's got BKB and time lapse. He doesn't care about the Golem. The Golem was supposed to be used as a pushing utility more than anything else. Now they're having to use it defensively, which is not really what you want to do. Like, even if they push and the Golem is dropped and basically Unknown are pushed out of their base, okay, well then you don't have a Golem for the next fight you look to take.
There we go, VP now with the smoke and the wraparound. Maybe if they can find the initiation, the Aghanim's Golem is going to do the kind of work that they're looking for. The side of basically Unknown, all grouped up at the moment in the mid lane. Phobos leading the way here for the side of VP, but Unknown, they smoke themselves up as well. They get up to the high ground. Well, it's going to be a situation of who's going to catch out who first. Nico coming in, he spotted out VP Polar. There's your bugs. Phobos will come through first with the Dream Coil onto 2, but Arise is still around. He's looking for that RP, and there it is. Onto 3, into the Static Storm, the Kinetic Field. I don't know what you do against that, but it's 3 heroes down. It's another double kill here for Nico. And Illidan's just left to run away, but I don't even know if he gets away. He's going to be able to try and get out, but Arise blinks forward. He's going to find himself a killing spree. They do lose Pure Evil here on the AA, but Phobos is going to go down as well, as the whole entire team of VP is cleaned up.
Did you say stop?
I mean,
it's over. Like, they can't do anything. It's just so over.
This kind of performance from basically Unknown is, from what we've seen in the in the previous games this league, is pretty fantastic.
The Weaver was a fantastic idea.
Yeah.
Like, honestly, that was the kudos coming from me for the draft here from Arise. It might have been some team collaboration there, but either way, it was still a great pick. VP just got totally destroyed by the aggro tri-lane of basically Unknown. Like, that was really the story for me. The Queen played great in her 1v1 matchup. She was safe lane, so maybe you expect that edges out a tiny bit in her favor, but Phobos didn't have a blink for like 20 minutes with Drow Aura. Like, that is crazy to me.
Man, blinking himself in, pops down the kinetic field, and will force some stealth out and pops the charge. He's going to be able to keep himself alive. The Golem does catch him though, Stoman, and he will go down here. They do find the kill onto the Disruptor. But they've already taken half the racks from the bottom lane, and they will get everyone else out. And I mean, that's the rock being dropped just to kill a support.
Yeah, that's kind of the issue when you use it defensively against these types of heroes. We talked about it, like the Disruptor and the AA, those are your 2 kills. Like, Pure Evil's been dying a lot in the team fights. Like, he has the majority of his team's deaths with 6. And then the next highest on his team is 3, and that's the Disruptor. So the 2 easiest heroes to kill on the side of basically Unknown are the ones who are dropping every engagement. And the Queen's died twice, the Weaver hasn't died at all, the Magnus hasn't died at all, the cores are never really being taken out. So even if you're making trades and you're getting some kind of golden experience out of these defense plays, you're always committing your ultis like every single time, which means you're never going to be able to push unless you defend like 4 times, 5 times in a row. Like, that's how many times it's going to take for them to really bring themselves back into the game. And by then, the next Roshan will have spawned. It's going to be cheese, and the Weaver is going to have another item or 2.
I mean, your Quap, she's got AC.
Yeah. I mean, this game is over. Like, the only way that basically Unknown lose is if they, like, YOLO 420 blaze it into the enemy team's well, like 3 times. Now, VP want to continue playing on, and that's fine. I respect that. You want to see if you can win.
Yeah, you want to
But it's tough. Like, even though they're farming at a relative rate, basically Unknown, they're behind 27 kills. Racks mid, like complete racks, and melee racks bottom is dead. They haven't even killed the tier 1 in the off lane or the tier 1 mid. Now, they might be able to get it on this push, as right now the Disruptor is dead. There is RP though on this Magnus, and as things are looking right now, the only detection that VP have is Dust, which is not actually good against Shadowblade when the Shadowblade is being used as a tool for initiation. So what could likely happen is this Ice Blast is flying out, and both of these heroes could just be dead.
Well, let's find out after the break, Andy. Yeah. Here we go. The game's on pause. Ice Blast. I'll fly through, and this going to be the RP onto 1, but I think they'll be happy with that. It's a kill on Illidan as he gets taken down for what seems to be the... I don't know how many times he's died this game, but it seems like a lot. 12 deaths here on your Illidan Storm Rage Drow.
This might actually be one of the worst games I think I've ever seen him have. Like, Illidan normally is very solid all around it. I don't even know if you can really blame it on him, because the tri-lane is what went so badly. And as Drow, there's very limited options, right? Like, what do you do if your tri-lane is going bad as a Drow? Like, sure, there's some heroes, like maybe Slark, where you can go for outplays, you can just farm the jungle, look for picks on supports, but as Drow, you really only do one thing. You just push and you hit creeps. Like, your team fight is based around your team.
And I mean, even this, I don't think he's been hitting creeps. If you look at the net worth, he's 1k behind his own support Visage.
Yeah.
And 1,000 behind Disruptor on the side of Unknown.
Yeah.
He's a bit poor.
He's the 3rd lowest in the game as a safe lane hero. So yeah, it's tough, but I guess the one good thing is he's got 116 CS and the Weaver only has 143. Except the Weaver has 21 kills. So, yeah, it's not fantastic.
Oh, we're going to see in the top lane, Nico, Shasha, and Arise. They're able to bring down the tier 2, and here comes the backing of the rest of the side are basically unknown as they're ready to go up to the high ground. RP's going to be back and available in 10 seconds. And with this damage, the tier 3 just absolutely melts. There's going to be a heart pretty much complete on Nico, and it is. Sent out to the Secret Shop, VIP booster and recipe on its way, and he's already got the Reaver on him. That's a Heart of Tarask on top of the Butterfly, on top of the Desolator.
They're never killing him. Like, you cannot kill this Weaver. I guess if they get like a full weave, and then basically Unknown engage and dive tier 4s in the well, maybe they can win a fight. I seriously doubt basically Unknown are going to do that though.
Okay, up to the high ground, gets buffed up by the Solar Crest from AA, and he just stands there, and he just hits the racks. He's going to get silenced up, and a Soul Assumption will fly through, but he'll just walk it off, wait for the regen to kick in from the heart, and go in for round 2.
Yeah, it's funny because both teams have Solar Crest, so he had the buff and the debuff on him at the same time. I'm actually amazed that Lil was able to get himself that level of farm.
Oh, there's your rock getting dropped. Phobos going in as well with the Dream Copper. They've already lost Illidan here on the Drow, and Rise coming through. Screws forwards Lil and RPs him together with GG goes down, Lil goes down. It's a triple kill to end the game for Nico, and indeed Illidan calls GG. And I think nothing much to say apart from what a performance from basically Unknown. They nailed the draft, they nailed the lanes, and well, finally, of course, they nailed VP.
It was very impressive. Everything considered, even if on paper basically Unknown's lineup should win on that tri-lane at least. Like, I would say the 1v1 matchups, 2 should have at least gone, like, 1 the way of VP, 1 the way of basically Unknown. Like, top lane, I can see the Queen winning that lane. Okay, yeah, whatever, it happens, right? You don't play as well as maybe you wanted to. He gets a few CS on you, big deal, doesn't matter. Your mid game is where you want to shine on puck anyway. So that was fine. G won his lane, expected, Warlock against Magnus. There was one point where he almost died solo, but he didn't, so didn't matter again. You really only care about your ultimate, so that's fine. Bottom lane got completely destroyed, like massacred. Yul dies before the first creep wave even spawns. They continue to lose heroes throughout the entire laning phase. And when they rotate heroes in, the first 2 ultimates that are dropped accomplish nothing. That's already just like, oh, so awful for VP, right? But they can still come back. Right? Like, even at that point, I would say VP still had a really good chance of coming back and winning, just off the back of Offering and Coil. And they continue to use their ultis, just not synchronizing them right, just not really being on the same page communication-wise. I don't know what it was, but man, it was ugly. And once that Weaver got even a little bit ahead, all these heroes on the side of VP, no one can deal with it. No one. You need Blink on puck at, like, before 20 minutes. Especially if the Weaver already has that good of a start. So yeah, it was just awful, honestly.
Well, it is of course a 2-game series.
Yes.
We'll have to see what the side of VP are able to pull out in the second one. And I mean, we were talking about it in the draft. Do you feel that maybe VP were a little bit too confident and underestimated BU with their draft?
It wasn't their draft at all. No? It was completely, like, if you see that aggro tri-lane coming, you have to respect its killing power. Like, AA in a tri-lane, 3 ranged heroes, you have to respect that kill potential. And I feel like a few times VP, their play might have been a bit of overconfidence, but their draft was not why they lost.
No.
Not at all.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, we'll see if they're able to step their game up in Game 2, which we'll have on our way very, very shortly. But first of all, from myself and Drasko, we're going to send you over some commercials and then over to our hosts and, of course, special guest who will be able to break down what we just saw there, and hopefully it won't be too messy. We'll see you guys in a bit.